G'day lovelies, welcome back to Addo's Kitchen. It's been a while, I know. Had a little bit of inspiration lately, but also trying to focus on where I want to be, where I want to go, and also update some equipment to deliver a better product at the end of the day. And if anything, that's the biggest thing, or my biggest obstacle is myself to these videos, because I'm trying to make a decent product and honor the food and the culture that I'm trying to create. So today I bring to you Atadwe milk, or tiger nut milk. Right after that atrocious pronunciation, I have been corrected and it is Atadwe. So apologies for my bad pronunciation. Correct me if I'm wrong, come for me and fix me up. I found out that tiger nuts go by a lot of different names. In South Africa, Zulu nuts, yellow nutsedge, chalfa nuts, water nuts, lots of different names. In Nigeria, even ayam nuts. So there's quite a lot of variety, but my time in Ghana, my first day I was introduced to tiger nuts and the idea of tiger nuts and how they can make up for your lost potential. Other side to tiger nuts is that they have a lot of natural sweetness, give you a lot of nutrients, a lot of vitamins, minerals, natural sweetness, what else? Lactose free. So they're quite a unique little actual rhizome or legume. It's actually not a nut and it's grown on the ground or in the ground. So they tend to come out quite sort of dirty and you have to soak them quite a bit. So I've been soaking mine now for probably 3 days. And you know what? It's been 2 years since I was in Ghana and it's taken me probably 18 months before I could actually get my hands on some tiger nuts. So because of the pandemic, we were not getting any product at all. So that's what they look dried in the bag. And it's taken me all this time to get some. It's Sunday afternoon. Normally this would be a refreshing treat in Ghana, but it's the end of summer and I want to get on and make a sweet, spiced version of tiger nut milk. I managed to get it once, a pre-made version in a filling station in Osu, so I'm hoping to recreate that now. So come along and join me while I recreate this for my Sunday afternoon drink. And if you know if there's any alcohol you can add to it and spice it up a bit more, pleased to know. So leave me a comment if you think there's a good alcohol that goes with it. I might add a bit of amarula. We'll see how the mix goes and I'll maybe add that later. Let's get on with it. Now I just want to point out some ingredients here. I've got some shredded coconut. You can use, this is frozen shredded coconut. I hope it's going to have a creamy texture to it. Star of the show is my tiger nuts. So that's 2 cups of soaked tiger nuts. So you can see the big ones there. Got rid of all the floaty ones that weren't any good. Add them in. Oops. Got some runners. Yeah, ginger. We've got the dates here. I don't know if you can see those dates, but that's our natural sweetening agent. So we're going to add that into the mix. And I love my spices. So I've got my negro pepper, calabash nutmeg, cloves. I love the flavor that was in them. In the one tiger nut milk drink that I got to try. So I'm going to add some of that in. This is typically what would go into some sobolo as well. Found one recipe. The recipe for tiger nut milk or Atadwe, it changes everywhere. A lot of them don't use too much spice. I'm using the dates instead of sugar. One influence from sort of Jamaica or the Caribbean is the pimento allspice to add a little bit of depth of flavor. And then some fomwissa or grains of paradise to add another little bit of peppery flavor to it. Okay, so we're going to go in with that. Go in with the coconut. Add some water to it and then we're going to start grinding this up. Once we've ground it up, I've then got to strain it. I've got some cheesecloth and that's filtered water too, by the way. But with all those grains, the seeds, the spices, the nuts, I'm going to use some cheesecloth and a sieve to strain off that and squeeze out so that we're just left with the pulp. So let's get on with the next step and then we'll grind this up. Okay, I don't know whether you can see this, but it's looking like a pretty solid thick mass all ground up. So we'll get on to the longest part, I think, of this process, which is going to be straining it out and making our milk. You can see probably from the nuts and the date, I've used the date instead of sugar, but the date is giving it a fair bit of colour. We're going to probably water that down a little bit. We're going to strain it through some cheesecloth, add a bit more water to rinse all this in. So let's check. It's definitely got that distinctive smell. It's hard to explain what it is. It is like nothing's overpowering it. The tiger nuts are definitely the main feature of this. Their fragrance and their scent. So let's get this in and squeeze it out. It looks so thick. Maybe I haven't added enough water. Look at that. Yeah, we're going to be definitely adding some water to this. This is the longest part of the process. And if you want to see a good video of it, Jasmine Amma did a really good video, I think about a year ago, with a lady named Vivian from Ada, and that's a good one to watch. But look at the thickness in this. I won't bore you with getting that done. That is coming through. So I'm going to get on and strain this. We'll just be left with the chaff after it. Definitely going to add more water to this. We'll get some milk for later this afternoon for a drink. Other interesting fact about tiger nut milk, that if it's also, I'm not cooking it, so I'm just making the milk straight away, but it can be cooked and turned into a pudding. So that's another interesting fact that maybe I'll try that. I've got some more here that I might throw in the freezer, but let's have a look at this. We'll squeeze. This is the idea of getting it and just being able to squeeze the milk out of all of that chaff. And we're double straining it. I don't want any of this cheesecloth. And yes, rest assured, my hands are clean. Look at all that milk. Look at that sweetness. This is going to be awesome. Can't wait. I'll get on with that and we'll bring you back after. So now that I've got that all done, that's what's left over. Still maybe a bit of moisture left in it, but that's all the coconut, the tiger nut, tiger nuts, dates, and a bit of the spices there. So done that. I think one tip might be to leave it longer. My cheesecloth is definitely done. And now I know I need to get a nut milk bag. Seems to be the much better deal. But that will all go in the rubbish. I've got a bit more tiger nuts that I might make another batch of, maybe just some ginger and cloves. That's what 3 days of soaking and changing water and washing and moving still looks like. So while I've got everything here, I might actually, maybe I'll get a milk bag first, but a nut milk bag. But I'll rinse that all off, wash it all off, and freeze those, and then I've got some ready to go for my next time. We're giving the milk a bit of a stir, so we're going to pour some. One thing that's a little bit different is this looks pretty runny, and there's a little bit of particle matter in it, but that's because I'm not using a nut milk bag. But we'll give them a taste. In Ghana, sometimes now rice is used to help thicken. So if you cook it or blend it up with some rice, that'll also help thicken it. Thanks very much for watching. Got my nut milk, got a little bit more left over to make another batch, maybe with some sugar for that extra sweetness. That's still pretty nice though. It's definitely got that tiger nut flavour. We'll see if I get a bit of extra vitality from this. Maybe it'll just help with my immune system, be a good nutritious drink. Greatly appreciate what the ladies or whoever make tiger nut milk in Ghana. Great appreciation now for the work and effort that goes in to extract the most of the creaminess and the flavour out of the tiger nuts to make Atadwe milk. Cheers, catch you all later. Leave me any comments. Thank you to Quanteroa's channel for providing the sort of starting tips for where to start and what I needed, and for coming up with a good recipe. I added a few extra little spices there to make flavour things up a bit, but thank you to the aunties. Still been watching you. Thank you. It's distinct. This is way more creamy flavour or colour. I know Quanteroa's colour was a lot darker than this. And I know in Ghana, not sure whether they add a molasses to it to give it the richer, darker colour as well. But this is still a nice creamy colour. I won't add anything to it. I'm surprised the dates haven't really added a lot of sweetness. But cheers. Thank you. Catch you all later.